And I'm Aaron Morris.
And I'm Coach Larry Wade, and we're at UNLV track and field team here. And you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Woo! Dante's Boxing Nation Show.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, with this Bradley versus Pacquiao fight being possibly the biggest fight, at least one of the biggest fights of the year, and if it's not the biggest, it has to be one of the most important fights this year. Since it is so big, there's just so many things to talk about leading up to this fight. Now, for those of you guys that are subscribed to me, you already know that I've already made a couple of videos about this fight in particular, breaking it down, how I think the fight will play out. But in this video right here, I want to focus mainly on Manny Pacquiao and the many ways that he could possibly win this fight. Now, as competitive as I believe this fight will be, there are still many ways that Manny Pacquiao can win this fight. The only problem is the majority of ways he can win this fight, they are not conventional ways. Okay? But for starters, let's go into the conventional ways that Manny Pacquiao could possibly win this fight. Now, one of the ways that Pacquiao could possibly win this fight is by knockout. Now, I know there's a lot of Manny Pacquiao fans that keep leaving messages saying that Pacquiao is going to win the fight by knockout. This fight won't go past 5 rounds, etc., etc. But my question to you guys is, when is the last time Manny Pacquiao got a knockout? The last time Manny Pacquiao got a knockout, you would have to go all the way back to 2009, 5 years ago, against Ricky Hatton, and a technical knockout against Miguel Cotto. Now, this is the huge misconception when it comes to knockouts. What people don't understand is the reason why Manny Pacquiao hasn't had a knockout in almost 5 years is because, once again, when you step up in competition, it becomes far more difficult to win by knockout, no matter how much power you have. You know why? Because when you're fighting on this level, you're no longer getting knockouts with just power. The majority of times you get a knockout, you're getting that knockout because you took advantage of your opponent making a huge mistake. Like I said before, once you get to this level, you basically need your opponent to assist you in knocking his ass out. You need him to participate. If he doesn't participate, it is going to be very difficult to get that knockout. So it's not necessarily the power that knocks you out on this level. It's the mistakes that a fighter makes. It's the careless mistakes that a fighter makes that gets him knocked out. That's how Manny Pacquiao got knocked out. Manny Pacquiao didn't get knocked out by a monstrous puncher, okay? He didn't get knocked out by a Tyson-esque type fighter. He got knocked out by a guy who didn't hit as hard as he did, but he just ran face first into a punch that he never saw. So what are the chances of Manny Pacquiao winning this fight next Saturday by way of knockout? Well, guys, if you look at this Ricky Hatton fight, You notice that Manny Pacquiao, he knocked him out, and it was a very impressive knockout. But we have to take into consideration this was Ricky Hatton. This was a flat-footed, come-forward guy that was tailor-made for Manny Pacquiao's type of style. Not only that, but Manny Pacquiao, or Ricky Hatton, I should say, he just came off of a knockout before this fight. He had been knocked out for the first time against Floyd Mayweather. Okay? So, Manny Pacquiao had a lot going for him in that fight. But once again, this was 5 years ago. And Manny Pacquiao has not had a knockout since. So what does that tell you? When it comes to Manny Pacquiao's power, I don't believe that Manny Pacquiao is, if there was a scale, 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest puncher, I don't believe that he's a 10. I would say that he's probably a 9 or maybe even an 8 plus, but he's not a 10. I think fighters like Keith Thurman, Lucas Matisse, of course, Mike Tyson, fighters like that, even Canelo Alvarez. I think power-wise, these guys are a 10. I truly believe that. See, I believe when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, he knocks you out with speed and accumulation. That's how he usually gets the knockout. He doesn't get it with just raw, brute force or power. I mean, if you go back and you look at all of his knockouts, look at the Miguel Cotto. That was a 12th round TKO. Okay, it wasn't a first, second or third round knockout. I mean, outside of the Ricky Hatton knockout, you can't really think of too many, early knockouts where Pacquiao got the knockout in the first couple of rounds. You go back to David Diaz, and once again, Manny Pacquiao, he must have hit David Diaz with damn near 1,000,000 punches. And then he finally ended up getting Diaz out later on. David Diaz will go on to say later on that, his power didn't bother me at all. It was just the speed. He had a lot of speed that I couldn't adjust to. That's what David Diaz was saying. The problem with Manny Pacquiao is he is a one-handed fighter. He does have tremendous power in his left hand. And very similar to Adonis Stevenson, by the way. Adonis Stevenson, he has the exact same problem. These two fighters, they are one-handed fighters, which gives their opponents a very good chance when they step up in competition. See, with these two type of fighters, you only have to worry about one punch, and that's the left hand. You don't even have to worry about Manny Pacquiao, throwing the left hand to the solar plexus or throwing a left hook to the body. He doesn't really do that. I mean, the only time I really seen Manny Pacquiao even throw punches to the body is if he has you against the ropes. But outside of that, the only punch you have to worry about is his straight left hand upstairs. And see, the problem is with a fighter like Tim Bradley, who is very smart in the ring, he knows how to prepare for just that one punch. He only has to worry about one punch. He doesn't have to worry about some unbelievable jab distracting him. He doesn't have to worry about some kind of Floyd Mayweather or Roy Jones Jr. leaping left hooks or leaping straight punches with the right hand or even the left. He doesn't have to worry about these things with Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao is very predictable. But don't get it twisted. Even though Manny Pacquiao is predictable, he is still one of the most dangerous fighters in the world, and he's still one of the best fighters in the world. And with his combination of speed and power and agility, if he lands, and if he lands consistently, it could be a bad night for you, okay? So that's my take on the knockout situation. I believe that Pacquiao has a chance of knocking out Tim Bradley, but I don't believe it's a very good chance of knocking him out because of Tim Bradley's excellent footwork that we will see on display the night of the fight. So the whole purpose of me bringing up this whole knockout situation is to say that the only way Manny Pacquiao is going to obviously win this fight for sure is to get the KO. Now, speaking of knockouts, another thing that I notice, and I'm sure you guys have noticed it as well, every time Tim Bradley talks to the media, he talks to Manny Pacquiao, he's constantly saying over and over, I think the fire is gone, Manny. I don't think you're as aggressive as you used to be. I want to see the aggressive Manny Pacquiao. I truly believe that Tim Bradley, he is trying to set Manny Pacquiao up for a trap. He is trying to bait Manny Pacquiao into being as aggressive as he possibly can. You know why? For many reasons. Because Tim Bradley understands that if Manny Pacquiao got tired in the first fight, right? By the 10th round, Manny Pacquiao, the guy who's supposed to be the stamina king, he was gassed out. And guess what? Tim Bradley was still fighting like it was the first round. Okay? So what Tim Bradley is basically trying to do is he's trying to get Manny Pacquiao to not only gas himself out, but he's also trying to get Pacquiao to be careless and reckless, just like he was against Juan Manuel Marquez. And possibly Tim Bradley could possibly get a very surprising knockout in this fight if Manny Pacquiao is dumb enough to fall for the bait. Which, if you listen to what he's been saying and you listen to the recent articles, he may fall for the bait. You know, it was just Freddie Roach was just he just did an interview just today, basically saying that Manny Pacquiao keeps coming to him saying, "Damn, Roach, I can't believe what Tim Bradley is saying. Can you believe what he's saying? Saying that I don't have the fire and I don't have this." And Freddie Roach basically told Manny, "This is why you got to show him, Manny. This is why you got to go in there. You got to be extremely aggressive. Just falling for the bait, man. Just completely falling for the bait." I do not think that Freddie Roach is a very smart trainer. I don't. Because if you listen to what Freddie Roach is telling Manny Pacquiao, he's telling Manny Pacquiao exactly what Tim Bradley wants him to say. He wants him to think like that. Run face first into this damn trap that I'm setting up. I mean, think about it for a second. If Manny Pacquiao got tired in the first fight and he claims he wasn't aggressive enough, imagine how tired he would get in a rematch if he gets even more aggressive. Does it even make sense, guys? And going back to saying that I don't think that Freddie Roach is the greatest trainer, I don't think that he is even on par with a lot of some of the trainers out today. Like I said, I just listened to all of the inconsistencies when it comes from the Pacquiao team. I mean, let's just go back and chronicle all of the inconsistent excuses why Manny Pacquiao didn't look as impressive as he wanted to look, or the fans wanted him to look. Go all the way back to the third Manny Pacquiao versus Marquez fight. Before that fight, Manny Pacquiao was sure, and a lot of the casual fans were sure that Pacquiao was going to go in there and run Marquez over. And it was mainly because this was right after the fact that Mayweather had just fought Marquez, and Mayweather beat Marquez very easy. I done seen Mayweather spar, and let me tell you, Mayweather's sparring partners are far more competitive with him than Marquez was in that fight, okay? So anyway, Pacquiao goes in there, and a lot of people think that Pacquiao lost the third fight to Marquez. Okay? So now the excuse that Team Pacquiao has, I wasn't aggressive enough. I needed to be more aggressive, etc., 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 right? Then Manny Pacquiao, he fights Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley beats him. He says the same thing. I was too nice to him. I was too compassionate. Oh, I like Bradley too much. He was like my best friend, so I wanted to be nice to him, right? So that's the reason why I didn't get that aggressive with him, all right? So apparently, the better the fighter is, the more slicker he is, smarter. If he's very technically sound, pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the world, the more nicer Manny Pacquiao is going to be to a fighter like that. Oh, but if you're a dumb fighter that's easy to hit, oh, Manny Pacquiao, he ain't going to be nice to you at all. That's when you're going to see, oh, Mr. Mean Pants Manny Pacquiao come out, right? He going to be mean and aggressive when he fighting against a dumbass fighter. Does that make sense, guys? Anyway, I done rambled off on talking about so much additional shit that I didn't plan on talking about. I wanted to say the other ways that Manny Pacquiao has a good chance of winning this fight are with the judges. This could be payback from what a lot of people believe was a robbery in the first fight. And last but not least, the other way he could possibly win this fight is if Pac-Man is on them damn energizers, if you know what I mean. PEDs. There will be no VADA or USADA involved in this fight, and that is all courtesy of your boy Manny Pacquiao. I'm on to the next one.